We all know that we want to see a Super Bowl come to Washington. Now, of course, we want to see a Super Bowl trophy coming to the Washington Commanders, but a lot of us would like to see a Super Bowl played in DC. But this is what's going to have to happen in order for us to see this. Welcome back to another podcast here on the Washington Football Maniacs channel. My name is Greg. I'm your host. This channel is dedicated to news and commentary for the Washington Commanders. If you're down with that, please make sure that you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification button so you won't miss any other video releases. If you want to support this channel in other ways, you can do so by becoming a channel member, become a Maniac, and so you can have some privy to some cool stuff with that. As well, if you want to support this channel in other ways, you can do so by visiting our partners at Mint Mobile.
Have you ever thought to yourself, why in the is my wireless cell phone bill so high? What are you paying all of that money for? Well, at Mint Mobile, you can get all of those features for a fraction of the cost. They are built on the nation's largest 5G network, and they keep their costs low because they directly sell to you. Switching to Mint Mobile is so easy. It took me less than 15 minutes using Mint Mobile's eSIMs card. And if you don't have an eSIMs card with your cell phone, just get in touch with Mint Mobile and they'll send you a SIMs card through the mail absolutely free. Big Wireless wants you to think that they are the only game in town, but let's send them packing. Switch to Mint Mobile today. Go to our link down at the bottom in the description. Try mintmobile.com/maniacs to get started today. And get this special offer for new customers. Get any plan on Mint Mobile for $15 a month. That's right, $15 a month for any plan on Mint Mobile, but you gotta act now. Now let's get back into the podcast.
That special deal isn't going to last forever, so please visit the link down the bottom to switch to Mint Mobile and save a lot of money. So, of course, the thing that a lot of cities love is being able to host professional championship games. And a lot of cities have been privy to being able to host the Super Bowl. Some cities have hosted it numerous times. Other cities have finally gotten a chance to host it like for the first time. And the NFL is really hoping to be able to expand the hosting city from just places in California, places in Florida. It seemed like it was one or the other. A lot of times is what you saw. The last time that the Redskins were in the Super Bowl, that one was actually hosted in Minneapolis, but it was hosted in a dome, and so it didn't matter that it was like 0 degrees outside. It was nice and warm and comfortable on the inside, and so for a city that is usually a cold weather city during football season, if they want to host the Super Bowl, they have to do so by supporting it with a dome. Because let's just face it, even though a lot of us fans who are going to sit and watch it at home on the TV, we would love to see a snow Super Bowl. We think that would be awesome. But that the people who pay the big money to be able to go to the Super Bowl, they want to be able to be comfortable. And they don't care so much about, hey, I want my seat to be full of snow, and so I have to shovel all the snow out in order to sit in it. No, they don't want that. They want it to be this highfalutin event, right? And so, and nowadays, honestly, only people who have a lot of disposable money are the ones who are able to go to the Super Bowl, unless they're given Super Bowl tickets through, one reason or another. So, with that said, what is it going to take for Washington to be able to bring a Super Bowl to the nation's capital? Well, certainly what we all know beyond a shadow of a doubt is we're going to have a new stadium. Now, Josh Harrison Company, they're going to do what they can to improve what used to be FedEx. Currently now it's Commander Stadium. They're going to do what they can in order to be able to make the game day experience enjoyable for the Washington fans. But let's face it, that stadium is not going to be good enough to support a Super Bowl. Even though that seems like basically in this region from DC down to where I live in North Carolina, the cold winter weather has really not bothered us that much. And so nowadays it feels like Washington probably could, assuming that everything was upgraded and fixed and working greatly at FedEx, well, what used to be FedEx, that, the weather really wouldn't be that much of an issue. But I still feel like for Washington to be able to host the Super Bowl, not only are they going to have to build a new stadium, but they're going to have to build one that is either a dome or one with a retractable roof. And I think nowadays that is what you're starting to see with a lot of different stadiums around the NFL and the country anyway. They're building stadiums that have retractable roofs so that if the weather is less than ideal during the winter season, then they can just simply close the roof up and you're indoors and you're enjoying a weather-free football game. But of course, you're still going to have certain stadiums within the country that are just, in areas where the weather is nice almost 100% of the time. Areas in California, for instance, you're hardly going to see bad weather in those areas. And so, like where the 49ers play, I don't believe they have a retractable roof, and they have a fairly new stadium. Now, the Rams and Charger Stadium, different story there. I think they do have a retractable roof. Am I right about that? I know it's a brand new stadium. But I think that's what you're going to need for Washington, even though, the weather may be perfect in February. And it seems like here lately, February weather on the East Coast has not been too bad. Maybe past, when you start to get in past Maryland and places like that, you start to see a lot more snow. But, south of Maryland is really not seen hardly any snow the last few years. So it really, it really makes you kind of wonder, would they base that, the weather patterns and things like that on what type of stadium they need to build. I think all in all, it's going to be a stadium with a retractable roof. It's going to be one that can host a Super Bowl. I know that was something that Dan Snyder wanted when he was trying to, build a new stadium. He wanted one that he could host a Super Bowl with. Well, obviously, that's not going to happen with him, but I think it could definitely happen with Josh Harris. And so, depending on where Washington is going to be able to build their stadium, well, if it's back at the old RFK site, which also could, kind of be maybe a detriment. I don't know, because you want that stadium to be close to restaurants and things like that. I know you can take the metro and go just about anywhere you want to, but you want to be able to have it in areas where you got hotels close by. You can build up the infrastructure around the stadium, and so that might be areas where the NFL is really looking at. So that being said, if Josh Harris is thinking in terms of wanting to host a Super Bowl somewhere down the road, that's something that they're going to have to really consider when building a new stadium. Do you build it back to the old RFK site where a lot of people would like to see it? Do you have a place in Maryland that they can build it, or would Virginia still be a viable option? So it remains to be seen. I think that is something that a lot of owners think about when they're thinking of building a new stadium. It's not just to, have a great stadium for their home franchise, but it's also a stadium that can host the Super Bowl, which also brings in a lot of money for that area. So it's something to consider, exactly what's going to happen. I think it's going to be, honestly, you probably won't see it until 2030, maybe, at the earliest, I think, because obviously the Commanders are not going to be able to build a new stadium before 27. So they're going to have to look at probably maybe more in the 2030s before you'd actually see it. Oh, Lord. It's making me feel so old. All right, folks, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like, give it a share. Let me know what you think on that. With that, I will see you in the next one. Take care.